1,000 kids have come through Camp Shane during all this time, and tens of thousands get nutrition information from us. I've heard these stories, and they're hard to take. There's many issues going on here, from how to lose weight and torment you receive from other kids. The question is, well, how do you suddenly change all this? How do you make it happen? I think that camp provides a completely different environment. It's a chance to start over. You're coming to a place where nobody knows you. And the minute you walk into Camp Shane, it's a caring community. Someone's going to come over to you and say, where are you from? What's your name? What do you like to do? It's really what we've tried to build at Camp Shane, is this kind of a community, because that's important too. While I love the advice of don't take what some people want to hand you, I think what's also helpful is to build friends who love you and will support you.
No matter what, I agree. Also, I have to ask you, Dr. Alana. So they can go to Camp Shane. You guys are all going, by the way, free, totally free. Yeah? Okay, so they're gonna
smiling.
Look, smiling. She's like, yeah. Okay, but let's be real. They're gonna go to Camp Shane, then they're gonna come home. When they come back from Camp Shane, what should those mothers have already done in preparation for their return?
Those parents need to have changed the household completely. The rules are all different. The cabinets are stocked differently. The restaurants that you go out to eat in are all different. These parents haven't done a great job of teaching their kids how to make the right choices. Camp Shane is going to help these kids learn how to do it, and now it's these parents' responsibility to make sure that they can continue to do every single day what they're going to learn at Camp Shane. It's a lifelong battle, and you guys can do it. It's so great that you're going to get started.
And one thing to the parents I can tell you guys about food and taste. Food has got to taste good. It has got to taste good, especially if you're trying to change your diet. If it doesn't change good, you're going to go back to the fat. You're going to go back to the fried, because fat is tasty and fried is tasty. So it is important to use herbs and spices and condiments and things to make it taste good. You know, don't you think? It got to taste good. If they're giving you all a rice cake and some nasty, plain old, I don't want to say a brand, but, you know, like, no, it's got to taste good. It's gotta taste good. That is the most important thing. Our cameras are gonna follow the kids as they head to Camp Shane, and we hope you guys do really well and make great healthy choices, and that mama, when you come home, and daddy, when you come home, that we get healthy food that tastes good. Taste is most important when you're trying to change how you eat. We'll be right back. Being 14 and 16 years old and so unhappy that you hop on a random freight train to nowhere. And that's a better choice than living at home. I'm talking about a freight train like you hear about, like, you know, kind of people just hopping on trains like in 1920. You know, it's like the movies. No, this is these girls' real lives. I read this article in People magazine. Amanda and Stephanie say they were so bitter and angry as teens that they didn't think twice about running away and jumping these trains. So what was wrong at home, Amanda?
Well, I had a really happy but tumultuous childhood. My parents fought a lot, and eventually they decided to get a divorce when I was 12 and Stephanie was 10. And my mom, the day she signed the divorce papers, got a job in Eugene, Oregon, which we lived in Tucson at the time. And so she moved us all to Eugene, and I got really bitter and angry that we moved. And we did really well in school before we moved, and then once we got to Eugene, we just stopped trying.
And you guys got angry too. So
we abandoned our father.
Tell me what you did with your hair. What did you do with your hair?
Mohawks and...
You got mohawks.
And
oh, like that teen rebellion. I'm going to show you how angry I am. So did the mohawks, did the combat boots. What happened at this bathroom, school at the bathroom, Amanda?
Oh, I started a fire in my school bathroom when I was in the 8th grade.
Really?
But it wasn't when I did it, it wasn't a big rebellious thing. I was kind of restless and bored, but the reaction.
Wait, slow down. Restless and bored? Oh, let me just light up the bathroom with fire.
Maybe it was subconscious.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you didn't realize it, but there must have been something going on. And then, Amanda, you also tried to take your life?
I did, yeah. When I was living with my father at the time, and being away from my sister and my mom, I felt pretty empty, and I was a depressed adolescent.
And how did you try to kill yourself?
I took every pill in my dad's house.
Every pill. Really?
So I went into inpatient treatment from there, and was there for about 3 weeks, and then I moved back to Eugene with my mom. And my mom put us into a wilderness therapy expedition.
How was the wilderness therapy, Stephanie?
It was pretty hard. It was during the winter time, so there were 15 feet of snow.
Wow.
And,
you guys are living out there.
Yeah, they put a backpack on your back with everything necessary, your clothes and food.
So then you,
and
you came back, and you guys wanted to come home, but your mom put you guys in foster care.
Yeah, it was actually the program's directors that believed that we weren't ready to return home.
Really?
So they suggested foster
care.
And then we returned to my mom's house after that period, and
then you started hopping the
and
trains.
soon again, yes.
So you guys were on the streets, and you were with these teens called Travelers?
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily a pseudonym, but it's yeah, people would say I'm a traveler, and that's sort of what I identified myself as.
And then how did you eat, sleep, like?
Well, in abandoned buildings and under bridges and in parks and.
Do these girls look like they did that? That's what is so crazy to me, that you guys lived this. Abandoned buildings, you were like panhandling, like asking people for money. Amanda, you overdosed on heroin.
I did. I overdosed on heroin when I was 17.
Wow, living out, and you woke up handcuffed to a hospital bed.
Yeah, I woke up handcuffed to a hospital bed with Stephanie handcuffed next to me, and went back out on the street after it happened, and a few weeks later, after I detoxed and everything, I was loitering, and a cop stopped me for loitering, and usually I would give a fake name at that point, and I just realized at that point, I can't do this anymore. I need my mom.
You need your mom, and
I
Mama's
gave my real
here.
name.
So they finally said they need Mama. How does it feel for you to know that your daughters went through all of this, and do you blame yourself for any of this?
Oh, sure. You know, I mean, it's all in hindsight now. I mean, when we were going through it, we were all doing what we had to do. It was, you know, it was acute, and it was just acting in the moment. There was very little thinking going on at that point, I think. So sure, you know, we're here because I wrote a book about this.
Yeah, what's the book called? Live Through This?
Live Through This, right. And I wrote the book because I finally realized, you know, we're years past it now, and I just had to understand what was my role. What did I do as a parent to cause my children to want to leave? And so I wrote the book really trying to see my own role and
What
not
do you
to
think you
castigate
did?
them.
We have to take a break, but just in short, can you tell us what do you think you did for the parents at home that are watching right now?
Yeah, I shut down. You know, they needed me. They were crazy, wild, angry, and I just shut down. I couldn't be there for my kids the way they needed me
Well,
to
this
be.
is just the tip of the iceberg of their story. Get the book, Live Through This. Goodness, interesting. And to see where you guys have turned out to be is a positive thing, and the story's not always this positive.
Right.
So congratulations to you all for getting out. We'll be right back. If you're a parent and you have an overweight child, go to TyraShow.com to share your story. And while you're there, you can get tips on how to help your child start to live a healthier lifestyle. And Jackie, you were saying something at the break about kids and parents cooking together. What was that?
Well, first of all, I just want to say again, I wish as a child that I had had the Tyra Show, because talking about this in this context is so important. If you involve your child in preparing food for the whole family and make it a family activity, statistics show that you consume 30% fewer calories when it's a family activity.
Wow.
The other thing is to write down what you eat. You know, I know a lot of times people make these unhealthy choices. Yeah, and people make unhealthy choices because they're looking for fast, they're looking for inexpensive, it's an economic issue, people are working longer hours. I get it, familias, but if you sit down as a group at the beginning of the week and plan your meals for the week, write down what you eat and make it like a family activity, statistics show, and I know you do this yourself, Tyra, 20% fewer calories a day if you write down what you eat. And, you know, Tyra, at the beginning of the show, you said a statistic which is mind-blowing, right? About how many obese
kids, 4 years old.
It's insane. And the kids that we met today, they have adult diseases. Every 47 minutes in this country, someone dies from an obesity-related complication. And we just saw little babies with diabetes and sleep apnea. We don't need that to be the case in this country. You know, this is a great country. We can do better.
Yeah.
Si se puede, you know?
So I think what we're saying, yes, we can.
Yes,
Si se
we
puede,
can.
si se puede, yes, we can.